What's going on, everybody? Justin Hickox here, and today I am answering the number one question that I get asked, which is, what fill in the blank here do you recommend? Because after 26 years of doing hair, I've used a couple things. So that is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. Yes, I'm going to break down the tools, the products that I use, the things that I like, the things that actually work. There will be links for everything that I talk about today in the description below, so you'll be able to find them there. So it won't cost you anything extra to use them, but it does support the channel, so I definitely appreciate that 100%. With that said, there is no product I'll be talking about today that I'm sponsored by in any way, shape, or form. These are all tools that I do use and I like, and that's the only reason that I'm talking to you about them today. And if you don't believe me, the first thing I'm going to talk about is shampoos. I constantly get asked, what shampoo do you recommend? Well, you know which one I use? And I actually was gonna get another one of these from the salon and bring it home, and I realized, no, I've got the one in my shower, which you can see. I use it because it no longer even has any decals on it. But it is New Wash from a company called Hairspray. And the reason that I love this so much is because it's a shampoo and conditioner mixed into one. Now, there are very few, and by very few I mean zero, except for this one, so this is the one that I recommend when it comes to two-in-ones. Now, I'll be the first one to say that this is not for everybody because it's like shampooing your hair with a conditioner. So if you're the person that needs something to set up for you to feel like your hair is getting clean, then you may or may not like this, but if that doesn't bother you one way or the other, this is a really great, fast option. Get your hair shampooed, get it conditioned all in one bout. It's just a solid line. So for me, shampoo, this is where it's at. Okay, so the next product I want to talk about are these right here. This is a wet brush. If you have never seen or used one of these, you're gonna love them. We've been using them at the salon for years now, and we cannot keep these things in stock. They're so great for combing your hair out of the shower. These are exceptionally good at detangling and not hurting you or pulling on hair. So if you've got a kid at home that's really tender-headed, this is a great option for you. It's probably why we sell so many of them. It seems like such a simple thing, right? Just a brush. Hey, I need a brush to comb my hair. But you'd be surprised. There's a lot of different brushes on the market, as you probably know, and not all of them work as well as other ones. These have been kind of my go-to. Next thing. Okay, I said I wasn't sponsored by any of these products, and I guess I kind of lied. I didn't really lie, so this next product is literally my product. So this is Amazon oil. There's tons of oils on the market, okay, we all know, and to be completely honest, a lot of them are great. The reason I lean towards this one is because it doesn't weigh your hair down as much. So the way I actually use this, right out of the shampoo, when I get a client, put them in the chair, I'll take a pretty fair amount of this, work it through their hair, through the mid-shaft and the ends, not really up into the roots, but through the mid-shaft and the ends, and I'll use that to help detangle their hair. And what I find is when I dry their hair, it's not gummed up with a bunch of oil. It doesn't feel greasy, it doesn't feel weighed down, but it also adds a little bit of shine and a little bit of polish to it. Now, if you have been following this channel, if you've been a part of my community here for any amount of time, you know that I did a video about my absolute hands down favorite volumizing product, period. One that I have been using for 25 years and I absolutely love it, and then found out that it got discontinued. Not by me. I had nothing to do with it. I made a phone call one day to order that product, and this time when I called, they said,
yeah, so the lab decided that they're no longer going to create that product, so we're just gonna go ahead and discontinue it.
Yeah, trust me, I was just as shocked as you were to hear it. And just know that I am working on something, so there will be something coming. But for now, I do want to let you know, or let you in on some things that I do like, so you have some frame of reference. Okay, so one thing that I like, one product that I like is from a company called Bumble & Bumble, and it's called Styling Cream. You're gonna find that the styling cream is a little bit stronger. It's gonna feel like there's a little bit more product in your hair, but it's fantastic at giving volume. Now, I also found a little trick here, which is this stuff right here. So I've been using this actually in my hair, and I don't use it the way that it's supposed to be used. I did not expect it to work like this. But this is from Hairspray, so it's the same company that created New Wash shampoo that I talked about and the conditioner. And this is called Powder, and this is a dry shampoo. But more importantly, it's great for root lift. So you literally just spray it in your hair. I don't want to do it right now because I've got stuff in my hair. But you spray it, and you can see it's just a powder, right? You spray that in, you work it through, and it gives your hair a surprising amount of control and volume. Now, with that said, you do want to be careful. If you use too much, it is going to be very sticky when you put your hands in your hair. It's going to be very hard to comb your fingers through it. So you do want to be aware of that, but it does give a lot of volume. Even though I talk all the time about be careful with the hairspray, but I get it. You know, many of you use it. So if you're going to use hairspray, what kind should you use? Well, I love this stuff right here. Techni Art Infinium 4. It's from L'Oreal. It's a really solid hairspray, and let me tell you why I like it. It's this right here. Do you see how, look at that. See that? That is a fine mist with a solid hold. So this is kind of my go-to hairspray. If I'm using hairspray in the salon, this is the one that I'm likely gonna use. So now we're gonna step into tools. I do not subscribe to the idea that everybody needs this blow dryer, but I do absolutely love it. First of all, I really like, actually, which I didn't think I was going to, but I really like the ergonomics of it. I like the fact that the filter is down here and not in the back where typical dryers are. I also love these attachments. Now, if you listen to this, can we listen? Listen. Hear that? That's magnetized versus most blow dryers that if you put any attachment on it, it's a click-in plastic attachment. In the video that I did where I tested this against other blow dryers, one of the things that I found with this was that it didn't dry the hair faster than the other blow dryers. And that's something that I hear a lot of people say. However, it did, which I did not expect, it did make a difference in how smooth that end result looked. I also noticed, I actually should say my wife noticed, that this didn't heat up the ambient air the same way in the bathroom. So if you've ever been in a situation where you're blow drying your hair, maybe you've got thicker hair, takes you a long time and it just getting super hot, the bathroom's heating up, you're starting to sweat, you're like, this is dumb, I gotta stop and take a break in the middle of blow drying your hair. You been there? You're not alone. This didn't do that nearly as dramatically as other dryers do. I don't know what kind of sorcery they're doing with this thing, but for whatever reason, the way it's delivering air is not the same. Now, with that said, there was a blow dryer that I used for a very long time. It's called the Chi Touch 2 right here, and I really enjoyed this dryer as well. It's a little bit cheaper. I had no issues with it. It dried the hair quickly. I liked the fact that you could actually control the different temperatures just from touching the screen in the back. So it is kind of cool in that way if you like the gadgety kind of thing. I'm a gadget person, so for me, I liked it. But aside from that, it just functions well as a blow dryer, so it works really well. Now, before I was using the Chi Touch, I was actually using the Chi Rocket blow dryer, and I really liked that one. I had no problems with it. It lasted for a very long time. I used it for years behind the chair. It's like $65, $70, so it's a much better price point, and it worked great. Nothing really stood out about it, making it kind of exceptional, but at the same time, nothing stood out about it, making it bad. So yeah, that's blow dryers. This is the Olivia Garden Pro Thermal brush. Now, the reason I like these specifically is because I've gone through a lot of round brushes in the past, and these grab the hair with the appropriate amount of tension. Tension is very important when you're round brushing hair. Tension is going to help you smooth hair out. If you don't get enough tension, your hair is going to be left, especially if you've got curly hair, it's going to be left with a little bit of wave to it. However, if it gets too much tension and it just sticks in your hair and you can't get it out, well, that's no fun either. They also have this little pick at the bottom that goes in the handle here, that if you want to use that to kind of pick through your hair and section it out. They have ceramic versions of these as well, which are great also. When it comes to round brushes, these are the jam, period. Hands down my favorite. I do get asked a lot about hot air brushes. Now, there's a couple of these that I like a lot. First of all, there's the Dyson Airwrap. Now, this is obviously the most expensive option. It's the most expensive thing in this entire video. It's an incredible piece of equipment that does a lot of different jobs. So it is a really solid option if you are looking for a hot air brush. However, if that's all you're looking for, I would say it's way more than what you need. Now, another option if you don't want to step into the Airwrap, you want a much cheaper route, is this Hot Tools. Now, this one I like a lot. The brushes come off, it's changeable, so you can change into different sizes, so you don't have to buy multiple brushes. But this particular style of brush, if you notice the little balls on the ends of the brushes themselves, these have a tendency to grab hair better and are much easier to manage. If you want an inexpensive option, this Hot Tools one is great. It's gonna take good care of you. You're gonna love it. Okay, let's talk about irons. So here's the thing. this is the one that I use in the salon. I'll link the video right here for you so you can watch the video where I kind of talk about different irons and which one would probably be the best for you. Now, I've got all of the other irons, all the ones in the video that I just talked about. I've got all of that stuff at the salon that I can use. I consistently choose to use this one. So one of the things that I love about this is obviously the fact that it's cordless. You can use it corded, so the cord that charges it can be used during use to help you get a little bit of extra battery life. I find myself typically getting through pretty thick, longer hair, curly to straight, with this on one single charge. The other thing that I love about it is these plates do flex. It helps to distribute the heat. It means that the heat is distributed over that section of hair more evenly. The more evenly that heat is distributed, the more efficient the iron is. The more efficient the iron is, the better results you're gonna get with the less amount of damage because it's getting faster, more efficient results. Now, the other thing that I love about it is it locks. So it stays like this. A lot of times irons, obviously you know that they don't shut typically, they don't stay shut. So if you do have it hot, you're afraid to put it away because you don't want it to melt something because those plates are exposed. This makes that a little bit easier. So I mean, it's a small win, but it's a win. But for me, this is my go-to iron even when I have options. Now, what I was using before this was the Infrashine. I still love that iron. It worked fantastically for me, and I've had many clients get it and love it too. The Infrashine was great because it was a $120 option that lasted me behind the chair almost a decade. It was ridiculous how long my most recent one lasted. The reason I stopped using it wasn't because it broke, it was because I wanted to try this, and then I just started using this. So those are my irons. Okay, since we're talking about irons, there's one other kind of iron that you need to know about, and that is curling irons. What curling iron do I use and recommend? That's a great question. I don't use them. Yeah, I literally use flat irons to curl hair. But there is one that I recommend, and I recommend it because my wife does use them. She swears up and down by them, loves curling irons, and she has an absolute favorite. But I really don't feel like I should be talking to you about this particular subject because this is her wheelhouse and she knows more than I do, literally, about this particular iron and why she likes it. I think will help you a little bit. So, hey, babe, will you come here real quick? Okay, so you love this particular iron?
I do.
Okay, first of all, my wife, Deanna. Deanna, say hi.
Hi.
This is the T3 Curl ID iron. It's about $240, $235. What do you like about this thing? This thing, that sounded so just, what do you like about this thing? What do you like about this?
This particular one, what I really like is I like how it feels, first of all.
Can we just talk about the fact that it looks fancy?
It looks really pretty.
This thing is fancy.
Rose gold, and I mean, it's...
Like if I were going to use a curling iron, I feel like this would be this, like white and rose gold. I'm kind of a fan. Yeah. But okay, go on.
Okay, so I like how it feels. I like that the barrel is actually a little bit longer than other curling irons I've had. So if you have longer hair, you can get more loopies around it.
No, that's nice.
And then one of the cool things that it has that I haven't seen before is it's programmable. So depending on the texture of your hair, the thickness of your hair, and if you have color or if it's chemically treated, it will adjust to give you the accurate, I guess, temperature for your hair type and texture.
So this actually has an auto world voltage, they call it. So you can actually travel with this and use it around the world without having to use an adapter. That's kind of interesting. I don't see that on a lot of things. So that's cool. So you don't have to worry about this heating up to like 1,000,000 degrees and melting when you plug it in somewhere that's like in Europe or something. My only thing that I didn't absolutely love about it is it wasn't really intuitive when I first, like trying to turn it on. It wasn't like, you just do this. I mean, like you notice there's no buttons or anything. It's all touch sensitive right here.
It's like a digital display. Yeah.
So when you plug it in, you don't know that it's on or what. It takes a second to kind of figure out. You actually have to pay attention and learn how to use it. That was the only thing that frustrated me at all because I have zero patience to learn anything. I just want to know how to do it now. So there's that. Okay, folks, and that is all of the stuff. Yes. Those are all the things. And like I said, all the links to all this different stuff is down there too. So check that out. Supports the channel. I always appreciate that. And yeah, that's all the things. I guess that's it. That's all. You can go now. I'll see you next Tuesday though, because I'll have another video. Yeah.